What's up, guys? This is Heiss, and I've got something really special for me that I hope you guys will think is pretty cool too today. A couple of weeks ago, I started to film this, and I was not ready to film this. You'll have seen the title and everything, but I ended up winning a sound system that my granddad made on eBay. My granddad made the first model train sound systems for PFM back in the 70s, and he gave it another shot in the 1990s with a digital system for PBL, who makes the ES&D trains that I have behind me. And I'll share some of the footage from me filming the first night, but I got a little emotional because I hadn't gotten to hear this in a long time. But I've got everything working. I've got it piped into my computer, and I can share this sound system with you guys. And this is the reason I do this. Like, the reason I got into music, the reason that I got into trains, like, it all comes back to this and my connection with my granddad, where he was telling me stories while we ran the little model of 346 back and forth on a desk. Well, I have a piece of flex track. I have the sound system. My granddad's been dead for almost 20 years, but we have the rest of it. The sound system and the importance of the fidelity of the sound, and that the sound sounded good, was such an important thing to him when he designed the system. So much so that it has dedicated line out and dedicated under layout amplifier. So it's designed that you'd put speakers underneath your layout to go and bolster the engine speaker. So you could have a speaker in the tender and one under the layout, so you get a real good sound. Because that fidelity and the quality of the sound is really important. And that sort of thing, and the engine sounds being so precise and everything, and done the right way, like, kind of set me on the trajectory of getting to where I am now, which is kind of strange to think about in retrospective for me, where I haven't gotten to touch one of these things in like 20 years. So I want to show you guys the sound system. So let me get it booted up. But before we get into reviewing the system and kind of going through some of the features and all that fun stuff, let's take a look at my first reaction from a couple weeks ago. So I'm really excited. I won one of the original sound systems my granddad made and designed for PBL back in the 90s that I grew up listening to, that I haven't heard in over 20 years. And I'm about to flick the power switch. I ripped up a guitar speaker cable so I could plug it directly into a guitar speaker cab. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't know if it's gonna work. I really hope it does. Don't mind me having a moment over here. So I'm going to save you guys from me literally bursting in tears on camera, but I had a favorite whistle in this box. It's got like 20 or so programmed into it. And the odds that the system I won was set to my favorite whistle and that was how it was set up. Like, what? What are the chances of that? Are you kidding me? So it's just one of those things, like, I don't know if there's somebody up there pulling strings, but I am going to have to make or film more when I get a way to actually pipe the line out of the system into my interface so you can hear what it sounds like exactly without the room and everything. Because it's literally playing through my guitar speaker cabinet right now. I had a moment there. I don't even know what to say. I grew up listening to this box and a little model of 346. Unpainted, mind you. Not like this. And oh my god, I could plug this into... Okay, we have to do that. I have to do that. It sends track power as a DC controller, so I can run 346 on my desk, we're doing that. I have to set that up, though. But I grew up running a little model of 346 with that sound system. And that was like my every weekend as a kid, it felt like. And I haven't heard it in over 20 years at this point, basically. And I loaded it up, and there's like 15 different whistles on this darn thing. And the whistle that was queued up is my favorite one. What are the odds of that? Wow. That's powerful nostalgia right there. All right, so I got it all fired up. You can hear there's steam hiss and things in the background now, and the occasional air pump. So it's really cool in that it comes with this big honkin' remote with a bunch of different settings. There's all sorts of crazy stuff to change up top here. This is just a DC cab, so it's not DCC, it's just DC. And this is all about sounds and the sound system, and true to my granddad and the way he was, it came with a quick, handy-dandy, these are the commands you'll need to use, chart, which is both sides, and not one, but two spiral-bound manuals of, hey, this is all the stuff you're going to need to know about this thing here. He loved his documentation. So, very fun in that way, but there's so many neat little options for it, and there's so many neat sounds. It doesn't just do steam, it does diesel, it does goose, it does all that fun stuff, and there's lots of neat things. And then you've got a whole number pad and other controls for whistle, air pump, generator, everything, bell, and then there's options for each one. So that's 346's air pump. That is the engine. I've got the model on my desk right now. I've got 346 on the desk. That's her pump. They recorded it off of 346. This is her chuff. So I know for all the nerds out there that the chuffs aren't synced. If the model had a chuff cam equipped, they would be synced. A magnetic chuff cam to pick up where the chuffs need to be. But that's 346's chuff. Recorded off the real engine on the little model, and like running that engine back and forth was my childhood. Super, super cool. But there's so many cool things this thing can do. There's a cutoff simulation in here where you can change the cutoff. You can change, oh, I don't like 346's air pump. I'll take that one instead. Or maybe this one. Or hit cab forward with the phew. And one of my favorite things is you run the engine for a bit, and you get it up to speed, run the thing, run the thing, run the thing, run the thing, and then you bring it to a stop. And then the pumps go like, oh yeah, we gotta charge the brakes up, we just used a bunch of air. It's like, there's a simulation built into this thing. Super fun. There's a bunch of different bells. We can turn off the pumps for now. Got the dynamo, of course, and again, a properly equipped locomotive that had the right receiver on it would actually light up the headlights and do all that stuff, but my little PFM model's not set up for that. There's like 20 different whistles on this thing, and this is my favorite. And it's fun in that there's a long whistle button that you can hold and loop. Then there's also a little toot for your quick commands. And then there's one canned grade crossing that just sounds really nice. Astute listeners may have picked up that I stole the second half of my grade crossing quill from that whistle sequence. From the 90s. Yeah, which is, I mean, technically stolen from some engineer on the Georgetown Loop in the 90s too, but I don't know who it is. But that's what the recording's of. But there's all kinds of fun whistles. As you do. Some very sad clapped out 5 chime. It almost halfway sounds like 491s, almost. So, I'm not familiar enough to say that this is before DCC. I wouldn't be surprised if this was kind of coming out alongside the first DCC systems. But it's kind of pioneering digital sound, and there's still so many features on this that no one has done. Not in a decoder, not in large scale, not in Lionel, not in a video game even. No one has done a lot of the things that this sound system did back in the 90s, and it was developed by my granddad, Bob Longnecker. I haven't said his name yet. Choo Choo Bob, as I knew him. And then before this was the PFM sound system, which I got to hear a couple times, but I have one, and apparently it's complete, so I could try that next. But this is the one that's nostalgic. This is the one that is the reason that I got so glued into this, why music and rhythm and things came a little bit more naturally to me, perhaps, because I listened to and absorbed the information of the sound's important. The quality of the sound is important. The feel, the rhythm, the everything. And it was as silly as running a little SN3 model of 346 back and forth on an 8-foot section of track, and I've only got a meter-long section of track. And ours wasn't painted, and this one's painted, you know, okay-ish, but does the thing. So, powerful nostalgia. Super cool. And like I said, when I first tried to film this video, it was my first reaction to it, and I was not ready. I was not ready for what I was about to experience. So, I hope you guys like this, and of course we can get into other model train stuff, because I've got, you know, a whole pile of Rio Grande stuff in SN3 that we're slowly collecting and slowly getting together, and I might build a layout at some point, probably when I leave this place, but we'll see. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a fun one for me, so hopefully it meant something to you guys, and I'd love to answer any questions you have about it. So see y'all next time.